Well, good morning, tubers. A little time for a little vape chat interview with a friend of mine. This is a couple of homeless dudes, me and Tim and Tim production. Tim's a friend of mine that I've met down at the park where Bandit does his business, and we've been discussing life and death on the street, so to speak, from the different perspectives, his and mine. We were just across the street trying to do this video and not bothering anyone when the authorities rolled up on us and tried to make our life interesting. I could have stayed over there. I know the guy that lives in the house, and he let us. He would have let us continue, but we looked at the video. The video quality wasn't that good, so we decided to move across the street where we can't be harassed and maybe get a little better contrast. As usual, life in the big city, there's going to be traffic, but we're going to make the best of it. Well, Tim, I appreciate you making yourself available for this interview, my friend. It's not an easy thing sometimes to sit down and present yourself to the world, and especially when you're not at the top of the stairs, And you and I are not at the top of the stairs, my friend. We were talking about the weather. It's getting cold at night. Tim's staying in his car. I have the benefit of staying in this house until I roll out of here to Colorado in a week or less. And then I'll be either staying in my van or bivouacking with my boss. That remains to be seen, but I have a good job lined up. Tim hasn't got a good job lined up yet. Let's talk about that. You were telling me about was it the labor finders? Tell me about that experience.
Quite an experience. As I was saying, you have to fill out your paperwork. Once you get signed up, they assign jobs. You have a choice of waking up every morning and going down to the temp staff place.
So you can stand in line in the morning if you want, right?
They have a waiting area. They call people by name. And sometimes you get called, sometimes you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how that works. If you get called, you work for the day, and work is done. You get paid at the end of the day. Every day you get paid.
Paid daily. Do they take taxes out on that?
Yeah,
they do. And that's basically, these are all minimum wage jobs?
Yeah.
Which is, what's minimum wage around here, Tim?
Minimum wage is what, $7.25?
A little over $7 an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
And have you ever gone up there and stood in line and not gotten hired?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would you say, percentage-wise, what would you say, is it 50-50, 75-25? What are your odds of getting hired for the day if you show up?
I can't put a finger on that, I can't do that. But I pretty much, I had times where I haven't got assigned to jobs, and I had times where I got assigned, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no 50-50 around it. You show up, you know what I'm saying? If you get chosen, you get chosen. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, it's just a loss for time.
Well, what have you been doing to stay warm in the car at night?
Yeah, pretty much.
Speak up a little bit. We got all these planes and cars and everything.
Yeah, there's no big thing about it, you know what I'm saying? If I can, I just crank up the car and warm up. If I don't have any gas, I'll still keep it on. I got
Covers and coats and cranking the heater, huh? Yeah. How much traveling do you do in general without, you keep the car in the same spot all the time, or?
Yeah, I keep it in the same place.
And they don't harass you about moving it or anything? You haven't gotten rustled in the middle of the night?
Nah,
That's a big thing for a lot of people that are sleeping in their cars. I watch a lot of the, it's called urban boondocking or whatever. A lot of these guys won't stay in the same place 2 days in a row, and it's not unusual in some locations for them to get hassled quite a bit. So I guess you've been pretty lucky with that.
Yeah, if you found the look, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, you don't I don't know how aggressive they are about those things here in Jackson, so I can't say if it's luck or if they just don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you park, I don't want to know specifically where you park. That's up, that's your secret. But are you parking on the street? Are you parking in a maybe a apartment parking lot or something like that? What do you do to keep from attracting attention?
Like how your van is parked.
Right.
That's how I keep it in the street.
So you just park on the street.
Yeah.
And do you have the windows covered, or is there any privacy, or?
I mean, pretty much no privacy at all. It's just a car that's in the street. That's pretty much.
Now I see you at the park usually pretty early in the morning, and usually pretty late in the evening when Bandit and I go down there. About what hours are you keeping in the park?
Pretty much when nightfall comes, I leave. The park, I could stay at the park as long as I want from morning to night. You know what I'm saying? They have a curfew in the neighborhood for the park.
They have a curfew?
For the park.
What is it? I don't even know.
10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock.
But I leave pretty much earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say, you usually scoot out there around 8:30, something like that, don't you?
Yeah.
And you're there in the mornings, what, about 9 o'clock, I'd say? Or
as soon as I wake up,
Even earlier, yeah. I know I've got, because I do the same thing, I get up, I get woke up when the sun comes up. Obviously, you're in the car, when the sun comes up, you get woke up. And might be tempting to sit in the car on some of these cool mornings and just suck up the heat a little bit from the sun, huh?
You could, you can get warm in the park.
Oh, you're talking about in the park? Well, in the car, it's glass. I would think that it would catch the heat. Because I know yesterday it was cool in here, and I went out there and sat in my van, because it's got so much windows on it.
Yeah, I'm not going to just sit in the car all day, you know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I didn't. No, not all day, but maybe just to get warmed up. I don't know. I'm a cold-blooded type. I'm old. I got, my circulation is screwed, and I will go out there and sit in that van for 15 or 20 minutes, if it's cool, because this house doesn't have any heat, and it can get pretty chilly in there. I cuddle up with Bandit, but in the mornings, I can't. Hell, my fingers they're still cold. They're just now starting to come back to life, and it must be what, 70 degrees outside now at least.
It's kind of lowering down, as the months go on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I noticed though today, the next few days, the high during the day is supposed to be like 80 something. But the nights are still getting down to like, I don't know, 50?
Yeah, between 50 and 60.
Yeah. I know it's been chilly. There's been 1 or 2 nights when, it wasn't that bad, but I got up and come down to see you this morning at about 10 o'clock. I was up for a while, but I wanted to make some coffee and get woke up. And I wore my jacket down at the park. I didn't need it when I got down there, though, because it's nice and sunny down there, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good place. But, yeah, well, I know that you've got a phone, and I don't know if you've got internet, but I'll get your phone number, and I'll keep track of you that way. I use Skype for my telephone. I don't have one of the subsidized phones yet, so I can't give you my number. Of course, I can give you my email. Did I give you one of my cards?
You can give me one. You can.
I'll give you one of my cards. Got my email on it. It's actually got a phone number on it it's my Google Voice number. It'll ring, and I won't answer it, but you can leave me a voicemail. Let me know how you're doing. I'd like to see, with the weather getting colder, man, I worry about you. I know how tough it is to get a job. I know the unemployment rate for young black males in this town is horrendous. And I know the kind of jobs that you're exposed to don't pay anything, because I'm basically in the same boat. And there's a certain amount of age discrimination that goes on, and then there's the racial discrimination on your end. That's one of the reasons I'm getting the hell out of here. I've got this job lined up in Colorado, and you know, it's a construction remodeling job. I'll make a little bit of money, get a lot of hours. I need to get back on my feet, and I'm certainly hoping that you do too. You're a pleasant fellow to have met, and I do appreciate, you know, you're sitting down with me for, you know, a few minutes to chat. Is there anything that you'd like to say while you got the mic?
Nah.
Folks, Tim here is a great guy. He's not real outspoken like I am, but if any of my viewers know of, you know, any kind of job that's around and want to leave it in the comments, I'm going to be here for another few days. I see Tim every day. I'd be glad to give him the information so that, you know, he's got a car. He can get around here. So, you know, just shoot me something in the comments. See if you can't help a fella out. For now, we're out. Tim, I appreciate the hell out of you coming up here and spending some time with me. You and me need to go back down to the park and catch some of this good sun, don't you think?
I'm out for it.
All right. You guys have a great day. I always do. We're out.